Okay? In an 8-year, you're building power, maybe financial power, so that you have enough guts to get out of whatever situation in the 9, and then in the 1, you do it over. So in your 2-year, oftentimes in 2 years, you have relationships. What were your 2 years? And did you meet Vinny in those 2 years?
My 2s. Well, in 98, I started at FIU. And the next 2007 is when Alex was born in 2006. That's the 9-1, 2005, 2006.
Okay.
Since Alex was born in 2007. No, I met him in my 4s, 2000.
You met him in a 4-year. Okay, so track back. Those are work years where you met somebody.
And I first met my husband in my 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, in 99.
Okay.
Through my daughter's father, I met him, but we didn't end up getting together until like.
Okay, but you met him.
Yeah.
You met him in a
Physically met
2-year.
him, yeah.
Had the energy.
Yeah.
Okay. I met TJ in a 9-year. Probably shouldn't have done that. I was ending stuff, and little did I know, and here I am in the 9-year again, and it ends. Because origin story. This is another way to know when something starts,
in an end, finishes
it ends that way. So if you start with hard work, you start with a 4, the 2 of them they build a family, that's going to be the energy of the origin story. So whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a child, that's going to be the energy that is intentionally in that origin, in that birth. Births are 1, but that doesn't mean that you can't birth something in a 6 or a 9 or a 3 or a 4.
Yeah.
We're birthing all the time. This is just to give you the example. So there's this symbol called the Enneagram, which I've drawn before and I've
I
massacred.
did a 4 and a 9. For me and my husband actually got together on an 8. And that really goes.
Anyway, I know that's not how you draw it, but
What is that?
it's the wrong drawing of the Enneagram. And it's supposed to have 9 points. And not in this way. So just for purpose's sake. You can Google it. This is bullshit. This is just my crappy, I don't even have it up here. This Enneagram is a tool that is oftentimes used for psychological analysis, like one of those Jung or Myers-Briggs, things like that. But this Enneagram, and I have this great book on the Enneagram, and it's all about like sort of the spiritual constructs of it. But one of the things that you can do, which is the same idea of the numerology, is what year are we in? What's a 2018?
3.
Okay, in a 3-year we meet.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Yes.
2,
Oh, no.
1
it's
is
one, it's
3,
two.
plus 8 is 11,
It's
and
two.
it's 1.
Oh, yeah. 1.
2018 is a 1?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I was looking at this list.
Oh, no.
So
No,
we,
it's 11, but the 1 plus 1 is 2.
2018, so 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 8 is 11.
That's right.
1 plus 1. Oh,
no,
it
this
is.
is a 2.
You're right.
It's a 2, yeah.
It's a 2, you're right. I forgot the 1 plus 1.
Okay, so 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 8 is 11, 1 plus 1 is 2. So we met in a 2-year. Let's say that each and every one of you open a business in a 2-year. You're going to track in your business, your 3 year, you're gonna make your notes. In your 4 and your 5 and your 6, what's happened. At the next time that your business is in a 2 year, there's going to be a new beginning. So for instance, maybe somebody comes and says, hey, I want to partner with you. Or hey, why don't we add a wing to the building? In year 4, because it's a hard year, maybe you have some financial loss. Someone comes to you and says, hey, let's invest. And you're like, nope. Year 4, we had financial loss. We don't do that. It's in year 5 that we gained it back. That's when we'll invest again. And every cycle of your life, you can do this. Every single cycle. And so if we had more information about the cycles, we wouldn't be caught so off guard. I knew that I had an ending in my 9 year. The writing was on the wall, not a shocker. I am now in a 1 year, and in a 1 year, I had my daughter. In a 1 year, I got divorced. I think my sister died here. So these 9 to 1 years are usually endings. And we can start tracking. So this guy I was telling you about, I started doing this to him. And I was telling him, this directly relates, by the way, to your birthing process. The way you go from a 9 year into a 1 year, we'll talk about what happened in the womb when you were birthed. So I took out his chart and I did it for him. And I said, what happened in this year? He's like, what grade is that? And I said, 2nd grade. He's like, oh, I had to repeat the 2nd grade. It was traumatic. And then the next year I moved schools. It was hard, but okay. And this client, all he wants to do is move to another state. And it's been years. And I said, of course it's going to take you some time because you're mirroring the 2nd year of school that you had to repeat. And now you're going to do it. So it's coming up. And it changed. He was like, oh my God, what a different reframing. It's not that I'm being lazy or slow. It's that there's a program in the psyche as to when things come, as to how things happen. That is why patterns are pretty easy to identify. You guys know the patterns in your friends' lives. You can see them and go, oh, he's going to get drunk, and he's going to do this, and he's going to do that. Easy peasy. But for some reason, your friend can't see his life, and you can't see your life. But this helps to give you the pattern that your psyche is modeled after. So you don't have to follow in that, but the likelihood is that you're the pattern, just like the tree, just like of the seashell, that you're made like that. That's why there's no straight lines in nature. Everything is circular, because we too are circular. And so we're contracted and expanded and expanded and contracted out of the cosmic womb when we are coming into our mother's body, and then the body contracts and expands, contracts and expands. It's the same thing. And then finally at one point, we're popped out and we're birthed. And so usually the 9s are how you're moving into your next stage. And usually it correlates with the birthing process. And I've used my story before. My mom was rushed to the hospital. There was no anesthesia. I popped right out. They catch me as I'm almost flying to the floor. That's my birth process. My psyche says, go, go, go. Do it fast. Kick, kick, kick. And I become Rocky, and I'm a number 1. Until that story doesn't work for you anymore, which happens to be me now. So eventually, if we're aware, we're like, wait a minute, that doesn't work. I don't have to honor my birth process. I don't have to repeat the traumas of my childhood. I don't have to follow my conception story. I get to do it differently, rewrite it. But this is a very good way of knowing what happens. And you may not know what happened from 1 to 9. It doesn't matter. But you might know what happened from 20 to 29. And that's enough. Because you have your pattern right there. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And just a side note, just to screw you up a little bit, just a side note. The number that you were born, in my case, I was born a 1. What were you born? With your month,
Oh.
day, and year.
What did I say, Monday, 1.
A 1, so you're like me. You were born 1 also, Pedro?
8. Who's 8?
With month, day, and
Month,
There were
day, year.
there were 2 8s, 3 1s, and 1 3.
What's your birthday?
12,
12/12/82. 3, 3, 6, 7, 8, 8, and 8, 16. 1 and 9, 19. A 1? Okay, and you were?
3.
A 3. And Tanisha?
It's not
Okay.
2 to 1, it's like 1 plus 9 to 20.
With me?
I mean, 10, never mind. Yeah, you're right.
Don't forget the 19.
Right. 1 plus
You're a
9.
3? Okay, so FYI, you're a 3. Another way to do it, same thing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're going to have some sort of ending at 79. 1, 2, 3,
So you
4,
start from the
5.
number. You start actually from.
You could do either way. It does not matter.
Okay.
The numbers would be different, it'll make sense, my first auntie passed at 02.
Okay, so if the numbers make sense and you do it that way. We just all happen to be 1s. But you could do it both ways. My daughter's a 9, so she would do 1 and 9. You're gonna do 1 and 3, and you're gonna do 1 and what? 4?
Wait, what?
What was the number?
2.
2. Okay, so makes perfect sense for her. Every birth is a year of a companion, of others, which is all that you're about.
You're 8.
On the birth year,
Here, I did it.
you were a 2. 2 is relationships. So the energy you came in with was about others. That's just another way to do it. That's why I said I might screw you up a little.
But it looks correct there. It looks
Yeah.
1 plus 2 is 3 plus.
1 plus 2
3 is
is 1
6.
plus 1 plus 2 is 3. 1 plus 2 is 3. Then 1 plus 9 is 10. 8 plus 2 is 10. Then 3 times 3 plus 3 is 6. 10 plus 10 is 20. 20 plus 6 is 26. And 2 plus 6 is 8.
Again,
I trust that.
I did it
No, she's
first.
really good at math.
I
so
thought
just-
I had 8, but
Okay.
I think we.
So
switched it
here
up a little.
Pedro is an 8, and Yella's a 3, and Tanisha's a 2. Everyone's a 1 because your birth year is a 1. But this is to give you an extra layer of information. That you were born in an 8 year. That means information. When you're birthing new, you're going to be thinking about power, position, money. Those are going to be things that drive you. With her, it's going to be change, studies, doing something new. And for Tanisha, it's going to be relationships, communion, family, all the things we know she is. So within your birth, you brought in this extra layer of importance. So you could do this starting from 1, or you could do it starting from 8, 9, then 1, 2, 3. She could start it from 3, 4, 5, 6, and she could start it from 2, 3. Does not matter. And then you circle all the 2s or all the 6s, and you start plotting the theme. So if I get proposed to in another 9 year, what am I gonna say no.
Wait next year.
No way.
Or no forever. Any years a no, I don't know. Because I have to watch out. This is when I get married in January of '99, and I get married in November of '09.
Wow, really?
So you see, January to 1, a 9 to 1. Not good.
No.
Not good for me. So, and here I'm getting divorced in the same one. So,
You
we
need a
have to track our
two.
patterns.
You need a two. Next year.
So that our patterns don't own us and we have some control or feel like we have some control of what is going on. Things aren't happening to us haphazardly. This is one of many tools that we can use to track our patterns. Okay? Any questions? Okay. Thursday is the last day of class. Are we gonna lecture or are we gonna give them time to do, let's pause this and talk.